Quasar now has ABI encoding and decoding. What this means is we made it easy for developers to build the Cosmos messages and queries right in their Solidity smart contracts. And they can easily use the results of these messages and queries. If you don't know what Quasar is, watch the previous videos in this series. To summarize, Quasar brings access to Cosmos messages and queries from smart contracts, and it can be integrated in any Cosmos Ethermint-based chain. Our first public prototype demo of Quasar was in July 2022, and now we present you with a full implementation of Quasar. You can now use a Solidity multi-sig and delegate from it to a validator. You can create a Cosmos governance proposal from a DAO smart contract in the EVM. You can have a DAO smart contract in the EVM to decide whether a validator should be slashed or not, and much more. Quasar is safe, flexible, and easy to use for your smart contract devs. You can unleash the Cosmos power inside the EVM as much or as little as you want. Quasar makes available the send message raw and send query raw methods for when you have already constructed Cosmos messages and queries protobuf encoded, which you can easily create off-chain using Cosmos tools. But it also provides the send message ABI encoding and send query ABI encoding methods for messages and queries that are ABI encoded, created in a Solidity contract. Based on these two methods, we are able to provide Solidity interfaces, libraries, and contracts with all Cosmos structures, messages, and queries under the Sol Cosm NPM package. Link in the description. And this is an example of how you can use these Quasar tools for your contract. My contract inherits the methods from all Cosmos modules, from bank, governance, distribution, slashing, staking, and so on. But you can just use the modules that you need. Next, we have the delegate from my contract method which builds the message delegate structure. So let's look at it. It needs a delegator address, a validator address, and an amount which is of type coin, which has a denomination and an amount. And we build this from the delegator is the my contract itself. The validator address and amount are given by the user that will call this method. This is a simple test, so we will skip over the security measures. And next we have the get and increase delegation method, which receives the validator address. It creates this query delegation request, which is of this form. It has a delegator address and a validator address. And then we will give the address of the current contract, my contract, as the delegator, and then the validator address provided by the user. The result from the get delegation method is changed, and we will add to the delegation response balance amount, we will add 10,000, just to demonstrate that we can interact with the results of these queries in our smart contracts, and then we will return this result. I am using a local Mythos chain that has Quasar enabled, and I will be deploying my contract. And we can see that my contract has all the transactions and queries supported from the Cosmos modules. And now we will copy this address because we need to send the contract some funds so it can delegate from its own funds to the validator. And we will be sending 1000 MITE tokens. MITE tokens have 18 decimals. And we can already see our balance here. We will use this delegate from my contract function. So we need a validator address and an amount. I set here 1,000,000 token units, which is a small amount, and we will make this transaction. The transaction was done, but to be able to actually test it, we will use the get delegation query. And for this, we need both the delegator and the validator address. So we will copy our delegator and add the validator message. And we can see that this is 1,000,000 token units. This is what we just delegated. And now if we just take the validator address and use the get and increase delegation call, we see that we have 1,000,000 plus the 10,000 that we added here. Let's do one more delegation, and this time let's have 10 MITE tokens delegated. Transaction was done. Let's see our actual delegation, and we see the amount has increased. Now let's see the fake delegation. So we see this one has 10,000 added to our real number. And of course, you have access to more structures, queries, and functions from the Cosmos SDK. You have seen a demo of Quasar with support for ABI encoded Cosmos messages and queries. And you can bring Quasar to your Cosmos EVM chain now. Quasar is compatible with Chronos, Inversed, Phantom, IOS, Kava, Rebus, Echelon, Berachain, Genesis L1, Canto, Bronos, Mythos. And if you don't see your Cosmos EVM chain here, let us know. Who wants to pioneer this for their chain? Links in the description.